Kalpun piso here. Brain is creating a thought. You know that we create everything with our brains, you know, and Christianity, like all religions, are nothing but a form of mental illness, mental retardation. It's a problem with the brain. Here I'm going to examine some stuff from the Bible and the Gospels. You know, the Gospels were actually manufactured, you know, in the 5th century by Jerome. Jerome took all this bunch of little fairy tales and he picked up and chose whatever you want about this resurrecting God, which actually was Julius Caesar, but it happened like 400 years before. But anyway, this is very interesting. This is what the retarded believe today. These people, the Christ-psychotics, people that need their brains repair. They believe they're stuck in the middle.
I heard the sound of their wings, like the sound of many waters, like the thunder of the Almighty.
Here's Ezekiel in the Bible.
He sees a firmament, a very large object. So many of the engineers that have looked at this verse believe that what he's talking about is actually landing gear. He describes rings of flashing lights around them.
Take some mushrooms and you'll see those things too.
He speaks of a being coming out of the craft.
Understand the translations, people. There's many translations in ancient languages.
Visitors were extraterrestrial in nature.
Nonsense.
They appear to Ezekiel.
Nonsense.
The Bible, like all religious texts, are simply a study on the mind of a person under the effect of psychedelic drugs, you know, mushrooms or snails. They see visions, they see all the
Future of Israel and about
take some drugs.
Military and political.
Take some mushrooms. You don't need extraterrestrial for that.
I don't know about this, but
oh man,
this is certainly one of the key
priest?
concepts that theologians would have to explore.
A theologian, yeah.
Once the UFO reality were admitted to be real.
Go talk to schizophrenics. They'll talk just like you people.
Coming up, angels, messengers from God.
No, Nikes.
Visitors.
Nikes.
Visitors.
Angels come from a Roman state religion. They are victory symbols, as seen in this cameo.
God's divine messengers.
Ha! Really?
Their ethereal images appear in art and architecture across the millennia.
Yeah, in Roman. It means victory. Retards.
And around the globe.
Idiot.
Mentioned hundreds of times in the Bible,
yeah.
Angels were present at some of the most significant events in ancient history.
Of course. Of course. Take some drugs and you see tons of them.
But what are angels?
Victory symbols, that's what they are. Nikes. You see it in museums.
Ufologists wonder if angels and aliens are one and the same.
Oh, bullshit.
I would speculate that the angels of the Bible and the Quran would possess the same powers and have the same capabilities in a supernatural sense as what we would call these occupants of the UFO or the extraterrestrials.
Yeah, they come from the facing Mars. They have a big base over there.
According to the Bible, St. Peter, the patriarch of the Catholic Church, was saved by an angel.
But Peter never existed, retards.
Put in jail and to make sure that he stayed where he
Really? Oh yeah?
Chains in his jail cell. And
some green guys from Mars came around. You better go see a neurologist.
And to be
really schizophrenic and deluded to believe all that nonsense. We are in the 21st century. We're not in the 12th century, people. Those three.
But the Bible passage does not tell how the angel got in the jail in the first place.
Is the angel had a dick or a vulva? They had a male or female?
Has the ability to go through solid walls, and this is sometimes reported in modern UFO cases.
You're a Christ-psychotic, idiot.
Also, angels are often depicted conveying their message through visions and dreams.
Dreams, yeah. Take some peyote and you'll see.
Space aliens use our unconscious mind, our dream life, to inform us of their real thoughts. That's what happens in Matthew 2.
In Matthew, everybody thought that the soul resided in the heart.
To Joseph in a dream.
They don't have no idea what the brain was for, retard. Come on, people.
Rise, take the child and his mother.
The 21st century, not the 12th.
And now in
alien abductions, you know.
He's had what he calls a divine encounter.
No, a mental encounter with the schizophrenia. You ought to see a neurologist, people.
Within a year, Sarah gave birth to their son, Isaac.
Oh, yeah.
Who became the bloodline through which the Jewish nation was established.
Really? Bloodline. Aliens. So the Jews are aliens, right?
Reported among UFO abduction cases.
Christ-psychosis is a terrible mental illness.
Right here in the story of Abraham and Sarah, we have the possibility that aliens are involved in the reproductive process of Abraham and Sarah, and that Isaac is here due to
how do they reproduce?
Extraterrestrial intervention.
They didn't even know what the penis. They didn't even know what a semen was.
What you would call extraterrestrial stories in the Bible indicate.
That's not what the river of life, the semen.
Or if not the whole
same liquid that comes from the female's breast. They didn't know what it was. They had no idea there was semen.
Look at the biblical prophets.
They thought it was, hey man, you belong in a mental institution.
Say the things they're saying.
Please seek help.
There were tons of fairy tales and ancient texts of all kind of delusional fairy tales, but Jerome was commissioned to write the texts of the Gospels and translate them, and he picked and choose whatever he wanted. He only took certain ones. There were some like the Gospel of Thomas that talks about Jesus being a little kid and a brat, and the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, the Gospel of Sacred Gospel of Mark that says that Jesus was a homosexual, there was a pedophile. I mean, they were not included. You don't see that in the Bibles of today, and there are hundreds of Bibles today, but you don't see that, especially Protestants. This retard out of, really take into account the old Gospels that they were not included.
This Gospel relates other unsettling incidents about the young Jesus, a boy who is not only powerful, but quick to anger.
As Jesus is walking through the street in his hometown Nazareth, and another child accidentally bumps into his shoulder, and this irritates Jesus. He turns to the kid and says, "You'll go no further on your way."
The infancy gospel claims the boy struck by Jesus falls to the ground, dead.
Why would Christians want to portray Jesus as violent, as somebody who killed people or withered people? And I'm not sure that there's a good answer to it.
Some experts believe this darker portrayal of Christ comes from the struggle to comprehend the infinite power of a divine being, especially one that walks the streets as a young boy.
Did he experiment with his powers till he got it right?
Is the infancy gospel of Thomas trying to show us an early version of the Jesus who would return on Judgment Day?
Take the apple of Apollo, the psychedelic mushroom this goddess is giving you, or like this god Hadrian is giving you. You will see Jesus and talk to him.
Traditional Christian theology, of course, people who don't accept Jesus and who are on his bad side are going to be withered and killed and destroyed when Jesus comes back in judgment. And so there's a foreshadowing of that already as a 5-year-old.
At least 3 times in the infancy gospel of Thomas, young Jesus performs the same miracle he later does as an adult. He raises the dead. The first incident comes when Jesus' playmate, Zenon, falls from a roof. This violent Jesus mistakenly believes he killed the boy.
There's Zenon down on the ground, and Zenon's parents walk up right at that second. They see their dead child. They see Jesus on the roof. They think, he's been doing it again.
They accuse Jesus troublemaker.
And neurologically dysfunctional people that believe in the Bible or any other rest of fairy tale books, go see a neurologist. God doesn't exist. It's a product of dysfunctional brains. Please, get cured and seek help. A brain is a terrible thing to waste. This is not a Christian angel. It's Cupid from Roman mythology. Give generously to your church and all the rest of con artists because they need your money. They needed money so they can live very good and put these things in their home.